Hello again and welcome to the channel. My name's Annie and this is my creative detour. And today we've got, as the title said, another thrift haul, and it's thrift haul number 5 on the channel. And I go thrifting off and on throughout the month. It's turning out that this year I'm doing a thrift haul video about once every month or once every 6 weeks, something like that, and show you what I've picked up. And because I'm heading off to Europe very soon, I will be going to the thrift stores in the different countries that we visit in Europe. And we're going to a few different countries. And I will be taking the opportunity to pick up some things overseas and bring them back. So that will be super exciting because I obviously will get different things that we can't find here in Australia. So I thought that I would show you what I collected for the month of March. And some of it I've not opened. I will open it with you and get surprised by it at the same time you see it as well. So I thought that I would start by showing you the bag that I use from the RSPCA, and it is a calico bag that's been printed on. And when you buy the deal from them to fill a bag with books for $10, you get a bag. And then I just take this back with me and use it, and it's really sturdy and it's got a great capacity. So I fill this bag with as many books as I possibly can to get it for $10. Now the books are priced from them individually, but if you're putting them into the bag, well then it doesn't matter. So you can see that these ones here are priced individually, but I didn't pay the price that was on them. So we'll do the books first, because we've got some surprises over there that we'll see together in a moment. So I picked up this little pocket book, and it's the Pocket Book of Animals, and it's by John Mitchinson and John Lloyd, and it was published in 2007, 2009, and I would say this is 2009. And what it is a little book, pocket-sized book, talking about all different types of animals. But I just thought that it had some really cute little illustrations, and if I'm looking for something, let's say to make a tag on monkeys, I can cut out this page for the front and this page for the back of my tag and then build my information onto it. So I just thought that it had some interesting things in it. There's something about koalas, which we always love. In our previous house, we had gum trees all around us. We lived bordering onto a nature reserve, and we were the last house in the street. Then there was the nature reserve, and the gum trees all around us were obviously a feast for the koalas. And we were in a koala corridor, and we would often see koalas like multiple times in the week, which was lovely. But here we only seem to see possums, lots of possums, lots of bats, and lots of birds where we're at the moment. Now, I thought that this book was great because it also has some illustrations that have got a little bit of a steampunk kind of a feel to them. So this little illustration here is kind of a little bit steampunky, and this one here as well of the goat. So it just sparked my interest, that little book. The next one we have is a massive book, as you can see, and it's the Australian Birds and Mammals book. And it was illustrated by Tony Oliver, and the text is by Frank Haddon. And it was first published in 1985, and this edition is a 1987. It's got some lovely age spots on it. The thing that I loved about this book were the illustrations. So they're lovely illustrations with a little bit of colour on them. You can see we've got a red kangaroo here and a quokka. And a quokka is from Western Australia. We've got some gliders here, so sugar gliders and a grater glider. And then we go out of the mammal section and into the birds, and some lovely bird illustrations as well, with a little bit of information. So I'm not sure how I'll use this book, but the pages lend themselves to making something big, like a pouch or a cover of a journal or something like that, or a flip out. Look at this guy. Isn't he fabulous? I love kookaburras, and we occasionally will have kookaburras around us sitting on the fence waiting to find the worms. So there we go. It's got some lovely illustrations, really big images though, so that's a little bit problematic. So there's the picture of the eagle and the osprey, and there's the size of my hand. So you can see that the images are quite big, but I'm sure I'll find something that I can use that for. Okay, the next book was The Life and Achievements of Captain James Cook, his adventures and discoveries and 3 voyages. For those of you that don't know, Captain James Cook was the explorer that discovered Australia. So it's a lovely book. It has some lovely illustrations. It's targeted at educating children, probably in upper primary school. That's where it's geared at. This book was narrated by Frank Greenop and illustrated by Walter Stackpool, and I think that it is 1969. So it's got a little bit of age to it, but the reason I was drawn to it was the illustrations. That will come in handy, like this image here. I know that I will use this because I love doing things about sailing boats, because I love cruising. And so I love the whole history of sailing boats, and that image will get used in a heartbeat. So I picked that one up. The next one is the Encyclopedia of Sewing Techniques. So this one just looked a little bit interesting, and this is by Jan Eaton, and let me tell you the date of it. It was published in 1989, and it has all information about sewing machines and getting to know your sewing machine, all the technical information, which I'm not that interested in. But moving on, some information about fabric. But the thing that drew me in with this book was these 80s styled illustrations. Look at those. Now, I was a teenager in the 80s, and I used to wear clothes like these with big puff sleeves and angles on them, and my hair was spiky. And I just thought, oh, I've got to have that, because this is crying out to go onto a collage composition. Now, let me show you some of the other illustrations in it. So it's obviously got all different information about sewing and sewing techniques, which will come in handy for doing some pages in different sewing theme projects. But look at these ladies. Aren't they fabulous in their onesies? And this one's got a hooded onesie but isn't wearing it because her hair's so spiky. But here we go. Here's some more ladies. Look at those with their big shoulder pads. Now, for those young ones out there, you might not know how important it was to have really good quality shoulder pads in the 80s. And I had shoulder pads that I used to put in, and then I'd put other shoulder pads on top of them to get such a strong angular top on it. And this outfit here is exactly what I used to wear. A skirt with an oversized shirt with big shoulder pads, and then bunched in with a belt and boots. Oh, I think there's some others. Oh, there we go. There's the page I was after. Won't that be just an amazing double spread in a collage journal or a mixed media journal? They're fabulous. And they're not overly coloured, which is wonderful. So that was a win in my bag of books for $10. Okay, now I was a little bit naughty, and I've got to be honest, I felt a little bit guilty when I came home with another one yesterday. I already have one of these books, and I have managed to find another 2 this month, and I couldn't leave them when it was fill a bag for $10. Now, these will obviously go into landfill, but I also felt guilty because I thought, oh, maybe I should have left it there for somebody else to come along and get it. And then, I was chatting about it, and I thought to myself, no, I'm pleased that I got it, because what I can do now is I've got one that I'm chopping up. I've got one, I'll put one in my stash as a spare, and I'm going to keep this one and I'm going to gift it to somebody when I clock over another milestone. And the reason is this book is fabulous for junk journalers, and I'll show you how I've used it. I got them at 2 different RSPCA stores. This one was $2, originally priced $2, and this one was priced at $4. But I got them in the filler bag deal, so it didn't matter because I got them for less than that. But you can see that the same book is going to get priced differently at different stores. Now, I'm pretty sure they're the same year. Now, it's called Reader's Digest Complete Book of the Garden. It's the 3rd edition, 1973, and it was published in Surrey Hills in Sydney. So it's got things in it that relate to Australia and New Zealand. But the great thing about this book is it's a stitched book, which means that you can clip out the signatures really easily. But the printing of it, the text is really small. The paper is thick, really good quality paper, but the images and the illustrations are not overly coloured. They're black and white, and they have a small amount of olive green on them. And it's so easy to use that colour palette in your journals, because you can load it up with colour if you want to, or you can just leave it as is. Now I'll show you how I've used it in my journals. So this is my nature journal, and you'll see that there's pages in here. So here's a page that I've taken out of the book. So I've used it in there, and let's get the other side of that. There it is with the bonsai on it. So they look lovely in your journals. Here it is, I've used it the first page in the next signature, and I'm going to make that a flip out of some sort. But isn't it lovely in your journal? It's got a little bit of colour on it, but it's not too over the top. And we'll have a look down the back here. There's the back page of it. But the flowers in it are so lovely to use, and I actually used one in my recent waterfall flip journal. And if you haven't seen this journal, there's a playlist on it, and it's for Junk Journal Madness in February. But I'll show you the page that I used. Here it is here, and then with that tiny little bit of green colouring. Now let's find it in the book. There we go, there's my image. And look how lovely, because of the way that it's illustrated with a white background as the flowers, and the flowers aren't overly coloured, it looks lovely on a saturated background. So I picked up the extra book, had a brief moment of feeling a little bit guilty that I'd been greedy, and then I thought to myself, no, it would have probably gone to landfill. And I know a whole lot of people out there, which is you, that would love to get your hands on one of these books, that you probably can't get them in other parts of the world. And there is quite a nice section in it of things in Australia and New Zealand, and also Japanese gardens. So I thought that will be perfect for me to put into a giveaway for reaching a milestone. So one of you lucky viewers out there is going to get this down the track. Now, what else did I get? Okay, I've got to admit I am a bit of a sucker for illustrated dictionaries. Now, I got the Reader's Digest Great Illustrated Dictionary, and I got A to K and L to Z. So you can see that they were priced at $4 each, but I put them in my bag of books for $10. Now these books here are such beautiful books, and they would have cost somebody a lot of money back in the 80s. Now, I remember my parents buying a set of encyclopedias for my brother and I to be able to use back in the, probably the 70s. And it meant that we were able to look things up when we were doing our school projects. We had lots of volumes of encyclopedias. I don't remember the brand, but I remember that they cost them quite a lot of money, and it was a bit of an investment back then because obviously we didn't have the internet. So you would have to go to the library and look things up. But when you were doing your homework, it was always handy to be able to look things up without having to leave the house. Now, these books are absolutely beautiful. Look at the gilding on the cover. It's a fabric cover with a leather spine, and then it's all gilded in gold. Look at it. Those books would have cost a lot of money, and I really appreciate them. The text is lovely and small, and there's a few little coloured images on it. Oh, and there's some treasure. Don't you love finding treasure? What's this? Oh, the tackle guide from the Courier Mail. Is there a date on this? Don't you love getting a little bit of treasure? No, there's no date on that, but it looks like it possibly could have been in the 80s or 90s, something like that. So they've got lots of illustrations. Obviously, it's a illustrated dictionary. And lovely little images. Look at this image of quince. The problem is with these, for me, I'm going to really struggle with pulling these books apart. And the reason is because they're such good quality books. You never know. I might find another set and buy them, and then I'll feel okay about chopping them up. So there we go. There's the illustrated dictionaries that I got, and a little bit of treasure, and I got both volumes, and I'm thrilled with them. Now, I think that's all of the published books that I've got to show you, but let's move on to the other things. So I picked this up mainly because of the quality of it, and it was a little bit expensive, I've got to be honest. I think I paid $6 for it, which, you know, is a little bit more expensive than what I usually pay. But you're probably thinking, what is it, Annie? And it's a photo album, but it doesn't have any places to put the photos. You have to figure that out. It has that lovely linen transparent, kind of like vellum paper, and it's got a linen, you can see on my hand under, it's got a linen texture to it, and the quality of the page is exceptional. It's a lovely off-white colour, and it's cardstock, so you can hear that it's cardstock, and it's bound in beautifully, like held in beautifully, and every page is separated by one of these sheets. And I thought to myself, Annie, for $6 I need to get that, because look how big it is. I'll show you. I'm not sure whether you can see that. I'm not sure how many pages it's got. I think there's probably 30 pages in it. And I thought to myself, you need to get that, because I'm going to use this as an art journal. When I do my mixed media compositions, I'll glue them onto a page and leave a border around them, and then each piece of artwork will have a cover, you know, so that the oil pastels or whatever don't rub onto the other piece of art. So that will be lovely. Now let me tell you the size of this. Okay, it's 30 centimeters wide, so that's just under 12 inches, and it's 36 centimeters tall. So that is, it's close to 14.5 inches tall. And in thickness, it's 6 centimeters, which is 2.5 inches. So for what I'm going to use it for, I think it's going to be fabulous. And I'm not sure if I'm going to cover that. I'll work that out down the track. I might cover it with some fabric if I find some fabric, but I won't need to rush to do that. I'll be able to just put some things in it and then gradually fill it up. So if you can think of a really good name for this as my mixed media giant journal, oh, there's a good name. So if you can think of a really good name for this art journal, leave your suggestions in the comment below. So there we go, $6 for that. All right, the next thing I got was a haberdashery box, and it's a covered box, and it's called Lucello Vintage Haberdashery and Fancy Goods. And the box itself is lovely. It's got a little covered tray that comes out. It's got a nice floral on it. But inside the box, it's got, I'm not sure whether the camera's picking that up, but it's got some really interesting imagery and illustrations of vintage ladies that are trying on different types of lingerie, I think, or probably corsets and petticoats and stockings and nightgowns, and it's lovely. So that was pretty good. I couldn't leave that for $2.50, so I got that. I picked up a Irish linen handkerchief. That was $1, and it's got some clovers stitched on it. None of them are 4-leaf though. They're all 3-leaf clovers in emerald green stitching, and it's very delicate. So I got that. I also liked the packaging that it was in, and that was, like I said, $1. I'll pop that in there because that will glare on the camera. Now these are the ones that I don't know what they are. This one looks like patches, and it's staple closed, and it's got some sort of patches in it, and I paid $1 for them. So let's open them together and see what it is. And I'll lay them out on the desk. Oh, some monkeys. Speak no evil, see no evil, hear no evil. Monkeys. A flag of, I've got no idea, but if you know what country this flag is from, I'll leave it in the comments below. The quality of this patch is phenomenal. The stitching on it is exceptional. Then we have another one that's got a deer and some mountains and a pine tree. We have it looks like it's a postage stamp, but it's actually a patch, embroidered patch. These look like they're handmade patches. That's got some surfboards on it and some little trees, bonsai trees. Yeah, they all look like they're handmade. And that one as well, it's been stitched on a machine, and then it's got some little silver embellishments on it. So these ones down the bottom, they look like they're handmade by somebody, and these ones up the top are manufactured. And I think for $1, I did pretty good. I possibly, who knows, I might end up using them, but I'll definitely use these ones. Not sure about the ones down the bottom. This one will probably get used, but we'll wait and see. But that was great. This was in a crate that I had to rummage through that people probably don't look in very often, and that's what I found. So let's pop all that away in my haberdashery box. Okay, now this bag, I'm sorry about the scrunching. I have not opened it. You can see that it's all sealed up, and it's got $3 on it. So let's cut it open together. Okay, so straight up we've got some thread, which we can always use thread, white, and then a red, and then a green. So we have a packet of buttons. There's 90 buttons, and they're ombre effect of buttons. Oh, and then we have some other buttons that are white, and they've got silver detailing on them. They were originally 65 cents. That would have been a bargain. And then we have a sewing kit, a basic sewing kit that has some needles and some thread and a threader. And there's 24 different mini spools of thread. Then we have some lace, fashion lace. Don't you love the old card that they're on? So here we go. Let's have a little look. There's a red one, And there's 2 of those, and each of the cards has 4 meters on it. So that was good. And then there's a yellow one. So let's see if I can get the yellow one out. So there we go. There's the yellow one. It's kind of a lemon, actually. And then the last one that I've got is some rickrack. Some polyester rickrack in red. So there you go. That was what was in that bag. That was $3. So let's pop it all back in here. So that was a good bounty as well. Now, the other thing that I have to show you in today's video is some packaging. As some of you would know, is that I work in retail and a casual job in retail. And when we're unpacking stock, all the ladies that I work with, they all save the different packaging for me, or I might save the packaging that we would normally put into the recycling. The things that are unusual. So look at this. Now, I'm not sure whether you'll be able to see it because of the colour of the desk. That might help you see it a little bit better. Now, I got this packaging from work, and actually the first lot that I got, Amanda had saved it for me and put it in the box out the back that says Anny on it for packaging. It's like bubble wrap, but it's paper, it's brown paper, and it's thick, it's substantial, and it's embossed with bubbles. And soon as I saw it, I was over the moon. I actually gave her a hug when she gave it to me. I was so excited about it because as soon as I felt it and saw it, I thought, oh, that is crying out for a wraparound journal cover and a clutch purse or a clutch notebook. And I just thought, oh, I have to do something with that, especially like a clutch purse that is decorated beautifully. So I have quite a few pieces of that. So if you'd like to see me do something with this, as in like a journal cover or a clutch bag or something like that, leave a comment below, because when I get back from Europe, I can work on some projects in the middle of the year that are a little bit more unusual. So let me know what you think about that. And some of this might actually find its way with the spare book for the giveaway. Now, I also have some other packaging that's really unusual, and then we'll finish up. Now, look at this packaging. Isn't this absolutely fabulous? We get this with some of the homewares that are packaged when they arrive at the store, and then we unpack them. And the ladies sometimes save these for me. I've got quite a few of this honeycomb packaging now. You know, it obviously is like this, and then they chop it off and wrap it around the homewares, a vase or a figurine or something like that, a pot. And it's crying out to be turned into something. Now, what I can see for these is bowls. So putting a piece of cardstock on the inside and then another piece on the bottom so that it sits flat. So then you'd be able to store things in it. And there's different sizes. Look at this one. This one's funky, just as it is. But I can also see turning that into baskets. My granddaughter said to me, Nonna, can we make some Easter hunt baskets out of these? And I said, oh, darling, that's a great idea. So we might do that. But these ones are the ones I'm most excited about. Look at the size of these. Now, these were around really big vases. When you open it up and spread it out, it's huge. And so I kind of was thinking to myself, I've got to turn that into something. And you can see that you could make a really cool three-dimensional vase out of that, or an interesting three-dimensional form of some sort. And if any of you have any great ideas of what to make out of these, please leave some comments below. And if you'd like to see me make something out of these big ones or out of the little ones, yeah, let me know. That's all that I have today. It was a bit of an interesting mix of books and some treasures and then some packaging. Hopefully you found it interesting. If you did, give the video a thumbs up and think about subscribing to the channel. And in the last haul video, I asked if you wanted to continue to see some haul videos, and some of you said you did. Now, obviously, it's not going to be everyone's jam. If you're interested in it, you can watch it, and then if you're not, well, then you can just pass by. All right, thanks so much for tuning in today, and I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Let me know if you'd like to see something made out of the bubble or the honeycomb packaging, and tell me what your favourite thing was that I got from the thrift stores. All right, thanks again for tuning in, everybody, and I will see you all very soon with a project. Bye for now.